Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of HTV. I'm Scott Robbs with University of Hawaii football special teams coach Michael Ghobrial. Coach, welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You're another one of the new members of this coaching staff. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up at Hawaii.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, and I was fortunate enough to stay local and coach at UCLA and start my playing career there as well. So for that to be the longevity of my career was awesome. Because I was part of multiple staffs at UCLA. My first 2 years at UCLA, having played under Carl Durrell at the defense end position and contributing on special teams was big because that's where I learned a lot of, the techniques that, I still utilize in my coaching. And then once I transitioned into an undergraduate role where I started coaching under Rick Neuheisel and Jim Mora, that's where I really found myself as a coach, and I work with mentors of mine such as Jeff Holbrook and Clark Lee and guys like that.
Yeah, Jeff Holbrook, a good friend of yours, and of course Hawaii football fans remember him quite well. And I understand he was one of the guys that really pushed for you to get this job.
No question. Yeah, so him and I worked closely together at UCLA, and we developed a great bond. He is just a dynamic, coach, and not to mention just a dynamic human being as well. So what I've learned from somebody that played at such a high level, played obviously at UH, played for the 49ers forever, and was coaching in the NFL before he had got to UCLA, to learn like his tactical stuff and just the way he carries himself and his style coaching-wise really developed me as a coach. And, I would always stayed in contact with him even when I had left UCLA to go on to Syracuse and Mesa State and Tarleton State. I'd stayed in contact with him almost every week. So to have him in my corner has been awesome, because if I ever have a question, if I ever ask how they do things over there, he's obviously willing to reach back out to me and let me know. So.
One of your strengths also is you're a real hands-on kind of guy. You're there and you're working with these guys constantly.
No doubt. And that's something that, my coaching style is, something to where if I can't show a player how to do it, then, I don't feel comfortable teaching them that. Because I always try and put myself in the mindset of them. And if I'm asking them to do something very difficult, I want to know that. And how I can help those guys is by actually being able to do it. Now, obviously, I can't do it at the same level as some of these guys, but, it puts me in the mindset of giving the guys the necessary tools to win, having experienced them myself, and also just playing around with schematics and stuff.
Typically, a special teams coach also has other duties.
Yes.
But not the case this year, because there's an extra coach now the NCAA has granted. So you can focus all your time on your kickers.
No doubt, yeah, and that's unique to me because, before this, I had always coached defense line and outside linebackers in addition to special teams. So to be able to allocate all my focus on just the special teams aspect will really help develop, the specialists in general, and then just not to mention, you could really dive more into, getting more detailed with your schematics and everything, because the focus is solely on that.
You got a couple of kickers returning from a year ago, Alex Trifonovich, Ryan Meskel. Talk about their progress, and I know you have a couple of other kickers that will be competing with them as well.
No doubt, yeah. One of the things when a new coach comes in, you want to bring in, obviously your schematics and your teachings, but the most challenging thing is finding out what your players do best. So these few practices that I've had throughout spring ball has been more focused on what are their strengths, so I can utilize them best. And obviously there's certain things that I need them to do, but at the same time, I have to be flexible enough to, have them do stuff that they can do. And through that, I've obviously taught them some things that I think will pay dividends in their growth. And, they've adapted that style, in the most positive manner, which has been awesome, because when a guy genuinely, is listening and attentive and has the intent to get better at what you want them to, you get the most out of them. So, those guys are still working hard, and there's certain things that they got to improve on. But, it's a great opportunity for both of us, myself as a coach and them as players, to, figure out what are we going to do. So.
The kickoff is one of the most important parts of special teams.
Yeah.
Even though they may go away with it in the NFL, I think it'll stick around in college. Now, last year, UH, one of their goals was to pin the returner inside the 25, so they'd kick it short but high. What is your philosophy in that? Would you rather just kick it out of the end zone?
Just like you're saying, kickoff being so important, to me, kickoff is your flagship. You can tell a lot about a team by the way they cover kicks.
Right.
So, not diving too much into schematics, there's benefits to both. Obviously, when a situation calls for, putting our defense out there when they've been playing lights out, we're going to try and get a touchback. But we can't prep for that, because if the wind is heavy and I'm asking my kicker to get a touchback, that might not happen. So we're going to train to cover every kick, but it doesn't mean we're going to be doing that. I mean, there's so many circumstances that it affects. But all in all, the kickoff team is going to resemble who we are as a team. And to have those guys, embody what, Coach Rolovich has instilled in these guys, and have those guys embody what our style is on special teams is going to be big. So, I'm excited to work with that unit.
Okay, one last thing. I know you took the Hawaii job, sight unseen, had never been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
You've been here now for a couple of weeks. Number one, do you like Spam? And number two, do you like poke yet? Have you tried any of them?
Probably a little too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, being a Los Angeles guy, there's a little bit of that culture out there. And I had always heard about UH growing up, and it's always been in the back of my mind, like, how cool would it be, number one, to play there, and number two, to coach there. So to have the actual experience and the opportunity to coach out here is, awesome. I couldn't have asked for, a better position to be in right now.
Well, congratulations. We look
Appreciate
forward to
it.
watching the special teams this fall, and thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
And thank you once again for joining us for another edition of HTV.